Why do we need God in order to be truly happy? That is what we are going to discover through this teaching. Throughout time, we have known that a happy person is generally less exposed to the harmful effects of stress and anxiety, as well as to certain illnesses that may be associated with them. Yet, in the world we live in today, we know very well that true happiness is not necessarily something that can be seen from the outside. Everything happens within. We can play a role, show others that we are happy, smile, laugh, enjoy a gift or the company of others without being truly happy in our soul. There is a difference between experiencing a moment of happiness and being deeply happy. In the evening, when we return home, when we find ourselves alone with ourselves, that is when we truly feel whether we are happy or not. And this deep happiness does not necessarily come from material possessions, even though material things can help. Nor is it guaranteed by the presence of others, even though their presence can also help. A truly happy person must be happy within their soul. With all the frustrations of this world, it is very difficult to be happy within your soul without strong support, even supernatural support. No human being can support you permanently, because they too are dealing with their own problems, their own difficulties, and sometimes their own frustrations. It is precisely in such situations that we clearly see the difference between those who are spiritual and those who are not. This is when we realize that we will always need God, the one who remains with us when no one else is there. The love of God brings happiness. Whoever sincerely loves God also learns to love His Word. For being deeply happy despite the difficulties of life is also a gift from God. Whoever reconciles with God and chooses to live with Him every day naturally receives this gift. Of course, God understands, for example, the deep sorrow caused by the loss of a loved one. But that kind of sadness is not the same as the sadness of someone who becomes unhappy simply because another person has achieved more than they have. Today, once again, ask yourself this question: are you happy? If the answer is no, then know that no one other than God can give you this deep and lasting joy, this inner peace that allows you to remain happy despite the circumstances. A happy person also gives themselves a better chance of living well and, as far as possible, living longer, because their body is less exposed to the constant effects of stress, anxiety, and all those tensions that eventually destroy us from within. Stress is a real poison. Anxiety is a real poison. Envy is a real poison. Constant bad temper is a slow poison. Constantly setting yourself impossible goals can become a poison. Uncontrolled anger is a slow poison. Constant fear of tomorrow can also become a poison that slowly eats away at you in silence. Setting goals is a natural part of life. We must move forward, build, work, hope, and seek to succeed. But if you do not succeed, despite everything you have done to achieve your goal, do not destroy yourself from within. Do not allow stress to make you unhappy. For there is a word that says, when you do the will of God, everything that happens to you is nothing but the will of God. This also means that God's will may be for you not to succeed immediately. Maybe it is not the right time. Maybe it is not meant to happen in that way. But that should not prevent you from living, loving God, and being happy. Now that we know that the love of God brings happiness, unfortunately, many people discover this reality very late, sometimes when they are already ill. But the purpose of this message today is also to tell you that it is never too late. As adults, we can still limit some of the damage. Some illnesses may already be present, some habits may already be deeply rooted, and some wounds may already have left their mark on our lives. But rediscovering peace, rediscovering joy, learning to be happy, and living with greater serenity can also contribute to our well-being and accompany us on our journey toward healing under God's control. However, the earlier we learn the Word of God, the earlier we learn to deal better with the challenges of life and to avoid some of the consequences mentioned earlier. In the modern and sophisticated world in which we live, particularly with social media, we are constantly exposed to the lives of others. We see what others possess. We see their homes. We see their cars. We see their travels. We see their success. And sometimes, without even realizing it, envy, comparison, frustration, and the feeling that our own life is never enough begin to grow within us. That is yet another source of stress. That is yet another source of dissatisfaction. And when we allow all these things to invade our minds, fear of tomorrow begins to take over. The fear of not succeeding, the fear of not having enough, the fear of not becoming like someone else. Just live, my brothers and sisters. Live. Live for yourself. Live for God. Be happy. And above all, be careful about what you consume. Because being happy does not mean that we should neglect taking care of our bodies. Living happily also means learning to be content with what we have. Even if what you have today seems insufficient, be content with it while continuing to move forward. Have hope that one day things will work out with God's help. But that hope should not make you unhappy or prevent you from living your life normally. Let us keep this conviction within us. With God, despite the tribulations we may face, we will always come out victorious in the end, and we will always receive what He has planned for us. Learning to live with what we have, continuing to hope without destroying ourselves from within, and keeping God in our hearts. This too is what it means to be happy.